Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Ashish Pardeshi. I am a reconstructive urologist at Kidney and Urology Super Speciality Clinic, Pune. And I'm also an honorary consultant at Jahangir Hospital, Pune, as well as Jaslok Hospital, Bombay, and HN Reliance Hospital, Bombay. Today, I am going to talk about reconstructive urology. Reconstructive urology is a surgical subspecialty of urology wherein we deal with reconstruction of certain parts of the male urological system as well as the female, where they go bad and cause a lot of problems. The most commonest problem which requires reconstruction in urology is the urethra. In the man, the urethra is about 20 centimeters long. In the woman, it is about 5 to 6 centimeters long. So needless to say that the male urethra is more prone for problems and strictures. The other aspect of reconstruction in males usually is a penile reconstruction because of trauma, congenital abnormalities, and other problems which happen over the years, which need reconstruction. In surgery, as I always say, that there are two types of surgery. One is ablative surgery, where you remove something from the body, and there is a reconstructive surgery, where we reconstruct something to make things better. So reconstructive urology deals with making those parts of the urological system which have got affected either by trauma or because of birth defects. So we make them better. Let us talk about stricture urethra. Stricture urethra is, in common language, blockage of the urinary passage from the urinary bladder outwards. So as we all know, there are the kidneys which produce urine. The urine comes down from the kidneys through a small pipes on either side, which is called as the ureters, and it gets stored in the bladder. And on timely occasions, we void or we pass urine through the small passage which is called as the urethra. Because of the advent of endourology, means treatment of urological problems through scopes, the urethra is the window to both man and woman to enter the urological system. For example, if you want to take out a stone from the bladder or from the kidney or from the ureter, the inlet usually is because of the advent of endoscopes is through the natural orifice, that is the urethra. So nowadays the urethra is more prone for manipulations for surgery of the other parts of the urological system, and therefore the incidence of urethral strictures are a bit high as compared to before. Another cause of stricture is trauma which is happening externally and infections. As so, the first symptom of stricture urethra is blockage. That means the patient is not able to pass urine. So the first investigation what we do is what is called as a uroflowmetry, which is a very objective test. The patient just has to pass urine into an electronic commode, and the computer gives a good graphical representation of the stream of urine. Usually the stricture patients will have a very poor and prolonged uh, passage of urine. That is a diagnostic test for stricture urethra or any kind of bladder outlet obstruction. After we confirm that there is obstruction, we go for other investigations like sonography and what is called as a retrograde urethrogram, where we map the whole urethra, especially in the male, to find out the length of the stricture, the location of the stricture, and the severity of the stricture. One important cause in our country which causes a pan-urethral stricture, means the whole urethra gets affected, is what is called as lichen sclerosis. It is a skin disease which affects the whole urethra, and it causes complete narrowing of the whole urethra, which requires an extensive surgery for its treatment. The preliminary treatment after we diagnose the patient with stricture urethra is we do a cystoscopy to find out what is the length of the whole stricture, how bad the stricture is. If the stricture is very long or it is very narrow, or it is very hard to pass through, probably this patient is going to require a very detailed surgical repair, which is called as urethroplasty. In other patients, where the stricture is a bit flimsy, short length stricture, or we can easily negotiate the stricture through the scope, patients can be treated with what is called as a urethrotomy, an endoscopic urethrotomy, wherein we cut the stricture with a knife through an endoscope, making the passage wider. What happens is usually 75 to 80% of these patients whom we cut from inside will recur at some point of time, which is not pre-decided. Some patients might come back after, say, 6 weeks, some after 6 months, or some after maybe 6 years. And so the further treatment depends on when the patient returns back with a recurrent stricture. When the patient comes back immediately, we advise him what is called as urethroplasty. The name itself is very simple. Urethro is urethroplasty, is reconstruction of the urethra using different kinds of grafts or flaps. The commonest graft which is used to replace the urethra is the buccal mucosa graft, which is the skin of the inner aspect of the mouth, the cheeks, which is wet, and it is used to a wet atmosphere. So that is the best graft procedure to replace or to treat or to repair the damaged urethral tissue. So what we do is we open the urethra at the site of stricture, and then we suture this particular graft at the damaged site to make the lumen wider. And this gives a long-term freedom to the patient from the urethral stricture disease. In those patients, as I described in lichen sclerosis, where the stricture is very extensive, we have to replace the whole urethra using the buccal mucosa graft. In our country, as we all know, there is tobacco chewing is very common. In such patients, we sometimes need to have an alternative to the damaged buccal mucosa because of tobacco or betel nut. And usually the choice is the tongue mucosa, or we can use the genital skin, that is the skin from the penis also. Those patients who have extensive trauma, there's pelvic fracture associated trauma, usually have complete disconnection of the urethra because the urethra is attached to the pelvic bone. And when the pelvic bone gets fractured in an accident, that is a time when we need to repair this. So when the patient comes to the emergency with a pelvic fracture and the urethra gets completely damaged, either a man or a woman, the first thing what we do is divert the urine from the bladder by using what is called as a suprapubic catheter. This catheter is put just below the umbilicus or the navel, and the urine is bifurcated, and the damage control is done for the urinary aspect, and the patient is treated for the pelvic fracture and left completely unattended as far as urination is concerned for 4 to 5 months. After 4 to 5 months, the catheter is kept for these days, and after 4 to 5 months, we then go in and do an extensive surgery, which is called as posterior anastomotic urethroplasty, to treat or to rejoin this disconnected, damaged segment of the urethra. It's a major surgery, and it requires a lot of expertise to conduct this surgery, because sometimes we might have to go through the pelvic bone, the pubic bone, to find a reconnection of the bladder to the damaged urethra. In small children, what happens is after the pelvic fracture, the prostate might just completely go away from the urethra, and we need to do an abdominal surgery at the same time to get the bladder and the prostate in line with the urethra. A small word about female strictures. Recently, I have started doing a lot of reconstruction for the female urethra. Females usually come because of prolonged labor or infection or prolonged catheterization can damage the urethra, or chronic dilatation can lead to damaging the urethra. In such patients, we have devised a lot of methods which can make the female urethra better. The latest one is, again, buccal mucosa repair of the female urethra, wherein we open the urethra and repair this urethra using the inner part, the skin of the inner part of the mouth, the cheek. After the patient has undergone a urethroplasty or a urethral reconstruction, the catheter is kept for about 4 to 6 weeks. After that, it is removed, and the patient has complete permanent freedom from urethral stricture disease. Those patients who are very old or who have a very extensive recurrent stricture after multiple surgeries, I advise them to do what is called as a permanent perineal urethrostomy, where an artificial urinary opening is made just above the anal opening. And this usually completely bypasses the damaged urethra and gives a better life to the patient who has been completely troubled because of multiple surgeries and inadequacies of prolonged treatment. So the lifestyle, the quality of life becomes much more better if you bypass this whole urethra and the patient can void spontaneously without a catheter or without doing any self-catheterization for himself throughout his life. The only problem of a perineal urethrostomy is the patient has to pass urine in the sitting position. Apart from that, permanent perineal urethrostomy is a wonderful alternative to patients who have very complex strictures. So this was all about urethral stricture disease in men and women. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much.